What we're going to do here is to show you how to install your hurricane protection if needed. The first thing you're going to want to do is locate all of your hurricane panels, lay them out beside each window that they go to so that you know you have the right number of panels for each window. The second thing that you might need is you might need a ladder for your installation. You're also going to want to locate your box, which inside of your box is going to have all of your nuts and bolts, everything needed to install all of your hurricane panels. You also are going to need a drill gun if you have one, because you will have an insert for a wing nut driver that you can install in there. You want to make sure you turn your drill gun down to a 3 or a 4, otherwise you're going to over tighten your wing nuts and it's going to make the installation harder for you to remove later when you take them down. So to install your hurricane panels, you have two types of setups. One, you have what we call a male panel mate, which is installed on the sides of your windows. And then you also have what we call a H and F track system, which means you will have a track above and below your window. The first type of application is on the male panel mates, which they run side to side. So the first thing you want to do is remove the white caps that are over top of them so that you can expose the threads. Once you do that, you're going to install this from the bottom to the top. You take your first panel, set it over, then take a wing nut, get it started to go on there. Now remember, these panels are going to overlap. So that means that you're only going to put a wing nut on the bottom two first. Then you're going to install your next panel because it will share a male panel mate and a wing nut. So once this goes on, you'll notice how this now is sharing. They're installing one more again. Then you're going to install your next one. And it overlaps and goes right back on. Another wing nut gets installed to hold it in place. Now some applications require what we call a half a panel for install. And if that is your window, then what you're going to want to do now is skip the next panel and you're going to want to install your top panel first. You will know if it requires a half a panel because you will have two panels, two male panel mates within 6 inches of each other opposed to 1 foot apart. The installation of these shutters in our building code area only requires that the end panel be locked down with wing nuts. The center panels do not require male panel mates, nor do they require it to be locked down. Then what you're going to do is install that panel right over top of it. They're going to overlap and you're going to be using a half a panel. You install your final wing nuts over top, and you're going to install your last one. Now all your wing nuts, when they get the other side done, are on. Now take your drill, again make sure it's cranked down to a 3 or 4 and install it until it doesn't spin anymore. Typical installation time per window might take you around 5 minutes. We suggest that if a hurricane is headed your way, you can install just some windows that you don't currently use that much of in guest bedrooms, closets, or bathrooms to help you speed up your procedure. But now that everything is there and in, That should be exactly what your window should look like afterwards. It is not exposed. Only the steel hurricane panels is what you're seeing. So now when the storm is over, to remove this window here, you simply would start at the top again. Remove your wing nuts. Make sure you place them back in your box so that you'll have them for the next storm. You should have some extra ones in case something was to get lost. Then you are to just pull the panel down, pull your next one down, and then just continue that until everything has been removed. Now, the next type of application, again, is your track system, which is an H track and an F track. This type of application on your panels are only going to have panel holes. If you'll notice, there's no holes at the top, and they're only at the bottom of your window. So this is the top of your track, top of your panel that goes in the top track. What Peter is doing right now is he is sliding your bolts into your F-track system. What the number of bolts required is going to be however many panels you need for that window, plus 1. You will not install bolts in your center holes. It will only be installed on the 2 end ones.